Hi friends, it's time for chapter 9 of Gooseberry Park. In chapter 8, we were learning about how Kona was trying to reach Stumpy through the storm. Everything was covered with ice. He could hardly walk there, so he was sliding and slipping. He was trying to hold on to things with his mouth. Think about how he had to sneak out of the house before his owner knew. If your dog was trying to sneak out of the house, if they were acting like people, that would be a funny sight. So now we're going to read chapter 9, which is Rescue and Remorse. And I see a picture of a tree. Doesn't look like the tree survived the storm. So I'm having a prediction that it didn't work out very well. So let's see what happens in chapter 9. When he finally reached Stumpy's pine oak tree, Kona was stunned by what he saw. The top of the tree had been snapped off like a beam. What was left of its lower trunk stood sharp and upright, ice hanging down its sides like a fresh cut wound. Scattered across the ground lay the debris that had once given the giant oak its majesty. Solid pieces of trunk, mammoth branches with long graceful stems, hundreds of broken twigs, all glistening under a hard layer of ice. Kona could hardly breathe. I think he was so upset. For a moment, he simply closed his eyes. Then he whispered, "Stumpy?" His voice was lost in the desolation of the park. He cleared his throat and this time spoke louder. "Stumpy?" Clamming his teeth onto the scattered branches to steady himself, he made his way around what was left of the tree. Every few feet, he called out, "Stumpy?" Each time, he was met by silence. Okay, so here's a picture of the tree. That doesn't look like it's a good sign. He's trying to find her. And when he found a part of Stumpy's nest scattered on the ground, bits of bright material and gum wrappers thrown everywhere, it was almost more than he could bear. He sat down and hung his head. What do you think Kona's feeling right now? If he's hanging his head, I think he's feeling super sad about the situation. Stopped there motionless, discouraged, confused, and very cold, Kona heard a sound. It was a sound like a song. He lifted his ears. The sound was coming from within a large piece of broken trunk that had rolled away from the rest of the debris and settled against a broad bush. Kona stood up and listened more intently. "Rock-a-bye bottom in the treetop," someone sang. "Get it?" "Stump!" Kona's voice boomed across the wreckage. "Stump!" The dog leaped forward, then danced like a Bolshevik until he landed beside the singing tree trunk, flat on its back. He moaned. From a small round hole in the trunk, a little black head, fuzzed with silver, poked out. It looked at Kona. So think about what the black animal is with silver singing. "Help!" the head shouted. Kona raised himself up and moved closer. The little black head that had yelled for help belonged to a bat. Remember, they hadn't met each other yet. Think about what Murray's thinking when he sees a big dog. "Murray?" he inquired. "In person," answered the bat. "Are you all right?" Kona asked. "I think we bounced," said Murray. "You must be Kona. I knew Stumpy would find you. The kids are all in here snoring like elephants." "Stumpy didn't find me," said Kona. "I came on my own." "You did?" asked Murray. "Stumpy's not with you?" "No," said Kona. "Well, she's not with me," wailed Murray. "She said she'd go get you." "Where is she?" the two said together. Kona's heart sank. He looked all around the deathly quiet park. "Stump!" he yelled. "Stump!" "Oh, whoa," said Murray, shaking his head. "She said she'd find you and you could help us. Now she disappeared. Oh, whoa." One of the babies inside the hole began to cry. Another sneezed. "These kids are freezing," said Murray. He went back inside the hole to wrap them in his wings. Kona was torn. He had to look for Stumpy, but where had she gone? She had never been to his house, so how would she think she could find him? The fall must have rattled her senses. Kona wanted to keep looking for her, but the babies needed shelter, and quickly. It would be very dangerous for them to be exposed to the cold much longer. Kona made his decision. He spoke into the hole. "You have to We have to get you to my house, Murray, you and the babies. Then I'll come back to search for Stumpy. Me and the babies? Murray said from within. Me? I'll be okay. I can't get them out of here alone, said Kona. Can't you just call a cab or something? Kona was thinking hard. I've got it, he said. You can all ride on my back. Excuse me, said Murray. He popped his head out of the hole again. It's the only way, Kona insisted. You can sit on my back and tuck the children inside your wings. It will be like riding a horse. Sure, like I've ever ridden a horse, answered Murray. We're going to end up on a hard copy, I know it. Hard copy's like a show that used to be on TV. But within minutes, Murray was on Kona's back, humming nervously, the babies tucked under his wings. Now that Kona had to carry everyone, he was really worried. He had fallen dozens of times on his way to the park, but he couldn't risk any such accidents on the journey home. There was only one thing to do. What? Murray called out. We're crawling? You're going to crawl? Gee, maybe we'll get there by September. We'll make it, said Kona. Just hold tight to those babies. Ouch, Murray yelled. Ouch, doesn't Stumpy ever feed these kids? It took Kona an hour and a half to make what usually took a 10-minute walk to his house. It was a good thing he was a Labrador Retriever. Labradors can withstand very cold temperatures and great pain, and only a dog like Kona could have made the grueling journey home. In the moonlight of the clearing sky, everything glittered like diamonds, as if the world had become a jewel. And even as Kona pulled himself across the yards, he was moving and strengthened by the incredible beauty all around him. He might even have forgotten all the others were with him had not Murray yelled, "Giddy up!" every 5 minutes. When Kona finally saw Professor Albert's house again and saw that the front door was slightly ajar and that the fireplace still glowed and that he was home, he wanted to cry. It was as if he were gazing at heaven itself. When Kona turned into the yard, Murray knew too and that they had arrived. Yippee! He yelled. Kona struggled up the icy steps, then cautiously put his head inside the door. Professor Albert was still laying snoring on the sofa. Welcome back, dear, Gwendolyn said softly. Kona walked into the room and gently lay down on the floor. Murray scooped the babies up and hopped off. Wow, said Murray, look at the size of that television. Did I tell you I love Jeopardy? Gwendolyn smiled at Kona. A remarkable dog, she said. Here's a picture of them walking. Okay, so the next chapter is called The Wanderer. Here's a picture. The Wanderer. So I'll have to find out what happens next. Thank you for listening.